Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So 31st July was the last date for filing income tax return. I hope all of you have already filed your income tax return on time. So this time the government has not extended the due date. So the due date was this 31st July itself. So last month I was also fully occupied filing all these income tax returns and all. And after filing so many returns, I finally realized that there is a lack of awareness among the people regarding this tax saving and all. So lot of people are doing different types of mistakes in filing their returns. So in this today we will be discussing all this one by one. So the main topic of our discussion will be this income tax saving and all. So let us start with the salary. So in salary, so I have seen that most people, what they do, they simply fill the data as it is given in the form 16. So they just see that if there is HRA 50,000, they will just put 50,000 in their income tax form and they will submit the return. But what happen is that suppose this HRA, so HRA we calculate it from three figures. So first one is 50% of basic salary if you are in metro city, or otherwise it is 40% of basic salary, HRA actually received, and rent which you have actually paid minus 10% of your basic salary. So sometimes what happens is if you doesn't inform your employer the exact rent amount which you have paid. Suppose you are paying 15,000 as rent, but your employer has taken it as 10,000. So in that case your rent paid will be less. So if your rent paid will be less, then your HRA amount will be less. So in that case you will have a loss in claiming this HRA and all. So similarly, if suppose your HRA doesn't know that you are living in a rented house or something like that, he will not consider your HRA part. He will treat it as zero. So like that we have to check each and everything. We have to cross check that whether they have calculated the correct figure or not, because they are also human, so mistake can also be done by them. So we have to cross check that whether HRA calculated is correct or not. So but most of the people I saw most of the tax consultant, even chartered accountants, lawyers and all those persons, they don't cross check the amount. They just simply see the form 16. Here it is written 15,000, so we will just give it 15,000. So this is the mistake which most of the people are doing. So another thing is they are not considering many type of deductions which are available. For example, if you are getting this allowance for using your own car from your office, so we are not considering that. So those people are not considering that. If you are getting free meal, so free meal deduction is also available for free meal, 50 rupees per meal. Then for Sodexo voucher, LTA, then there is leave encashment, gratuity. So there are lots of deduction available under this salary head, but most of the people are not cross checking it, not paying attention to it. So while filing the return we should take care of all these points. Then second comes this capital gain. So many people, what they do, so if they are selling any mutual fund, so they don't inform it to their tax consultant, to the person who is filing their return. So what happens is, even if they have sold their shares, even if they have sold their mutual fund, so either there will be loss or there will be profit. If there is a loss, so it means you are not carry forwarding your losses for the future year. So in future year you can take benefit of that carry forward loss. And suppose in case it is a profit, so you are not paying tax on your profit. So it simply means you are evading the tax. You are not paying the proper tax to the government. So in both the case it is wrong. So even if you have sold any mutual fund, if you have sold any shares, debentures or anything, so you have to report it to the under this capital gain income head. So this is the mistake which most of the people are doing. They are not reporting it. They are not cross checking it with this AIS report, TIS report. So we should cross check with AIS and TIS, and after that only we should file the return. Similarly, what happens is I am sure that people are not even doing tax planning properly. So if you properly plan your taxes, if you will do proper tax planning, then there will be no taxes in this capital gain. Because suppose if you have made 50,000 as profit from this capital gain, so what you have to do in the month of March, you just see in your portfolio there may be some shares or some anything mutual fund or anything like that which is in the losses. So like suppose there are 3 shares which you have sold and which were in the profit, and out of that, out of those three shares, you earned a 50,000 income capital gain. So to save tax on that 50,000, so now what will happen on that 50,000, if it is this normal slab rate, if it is taxable in normal slab rate, then you have to pay it at, if you are in a higher slab rate, higher income, so in that case you have to pay 30% on it. If it is taxable at normal rate, then you have to pay 30%. If it is taxable at special rate, then for special rate, if it is short term, then 15%. If it is long term, then 20% you have to pay on it. So in how to save that tax, so what you have to do, you just go check your portfolio in the March month. So in the March month, you check your portfolio. If suppose there is few shares, like suppose there is a share of Reliance which is in loss, suppose it is in 10,000 loss, and from other shares you have gained a profit of 50,000. So what you have to do, you have to just sell that loss making shares of that 10,000, and that 10,000 will set off this 50,000 profit, and you will be taxable only for 40,000. Similarly, like if you have any other share which is also in losses, so you can sold those shares and you can set off this for 50%, 40,000 this capital gain. So like this there will be no tax because there is no capital gain. So you have to check this, and suppose if you want to carry forward those, if you don't want to sell those shares, you want to carry those shares in your portfolio, so you can do one thing, you can just sold those shares in the last week of March, and you can repurchase it in the 1st April or 2nd April. So like that there will be no capital gain. So this is the tax planning for this capital gain and all. Now the last thing is the deductions. So under deduction I have seen, suppose if you have not taken any health insurance in the name of your parents or something like that, and if your parents are above 60 years of age, so you can claim 50,000 medical expenditure for them. So 50,000 per year medical expenditure is nothing, so there maybe you have spent lot more than that. So 50,000 is the maximum limit which you can claim. So most of the people are not claiming that 80D also. And the last part is, I've seen many people, they are simply filing it online. So in online, if you are filing it online, you are just it is autofilled through this AIS report, form 16 and all those things. So what people are doing, they are just simply submitting, and they are not editing any of the data. So what happens is 80 TTA means interest on saving account, which you get as deduction up to 10,000 under 80 TTA. So those details are not autofilled. So when you are filing a return online, so you have to cross check that whether you have taken the benefit, whether you have taken the deductions under 80 TTA, or it has been left blank. So if it is left blank, then on that 10,000 you are paying extra tax unnecessarily. So like this, you have to check this 80 TTA also. You have to check that whether is there any health insurance or something like that. Then in ATC also you have to check whether the amount is correctly shown or not, because in this if you are filing it online, then the figures of this ATC, it is autofilled. How it is autofilled? It is autofilled through this your form 16. So if you have not reported your employer about any tuition fees, any fixed deposit, tax saving mutual fund, or any such deductions, then they will not report it there. So you will be in loss because you are showing less amount in ATC. So like this, people are making mistake. So now for those people whose taxable income is near about 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs or something like that. So even for them, they have to do proper tax planning. So what happens is, if suppose your income is below 5 lakh, so then you will get a rebate of 12,500. And if it is 5 lakh plus, then you will not get any rebate. So in that case, what happens is, suppose your income is 5 lakh 10,000. So in that 5 lakh 10,000, you are taxable for that between 2 lakh to 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh 12,500, and for another 10,000 20%. So it comes around 2,000. So your taxable liability is your tax liability will be 14,500 plus cess and all those things for earning that extra 10,000. But if your income is only 5 lakh rupees, you will get that 12,500 as rebate, and there will be no tax liability. So tax liability will become zero. So if your income is 5 lakh 10,000, so how will you save that tax? By investing that extra 10,000 in suppose ATC, ATD. So how can you invest? You can invest up to 1.5 lakh in this ATC. Then extra 50,000 you can invest in pension, ATCCD. Then you can invest 50,000 in the name of your parents' health insurance, 50,000, 25,000 for self and family. then another you can claim this 80 TTA. So like this there are lots of deductions available, but people are unaware of it and they are not taking maximum benefit from it. So my advice is, if you are filing your return, so it will just cost you 2000 3000 for filing it through an expert, but don't try to file it yourself. Just take the help of any expert. So maybe he will charge you 2000 3000, anything, like even means maximum he will charge you 5000. But if you will pay them 5000, he will give you a benefit of 10,000 20,000 50,000 1 lakh rupees, or even more than that. And also you will be confident that there will be no notice, and even if you receive any notice, he will be there to tackle all those notices and everything. So you will be tension free, relax, and your return will be filed. So next time if you have to file your return, please take advice of any expert and all. And the points which I have mentioned in this video, please also take care of this. And that's all for today. Thank you.